G'day guys, welcome back to the channel. You're watching Flashlight Crazy. Today I'm reviewing Geordie's new light from Focusworks. This is the Focusworks F2 Flex in titanium. Let's check it out. Alrighty, here we are again, and this time we have the really cool Focusworks Flex. So let's just have a look at the box. So it's going to come with that in that box. This is the standard Focusworks box. That's the box that you get your F2 or F3 in. So that is my bronze F2. And in fact, I'll just leave that there to do a bit of a comparison. So this is the box that you get the Flex in. Now, we'll just take a look at it and just see it in all its glory. Okay, so Focusworks F2 Flex flashlight. So this is the F2 Flex. Now, F2 Flex, why is it called the F2 Flex? Well, I'm sure you can see the resemblance to the F2, but it's named the Flex instead of just the F2. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to go over how this light operates, why I think this light is brilliant, the different scenarios you can use this light in, and all that type of stuff. Okay, so first things first, let's just go over how this one looks. So it's typical Focusworks machining. It is tough as nails. It really is nice. It fits beautifully in the hand. One of the best pen light style lights I have experienced. In fact, possibly could be the best just because of its length. It is a little bit longer than most pen lights, but the machining on this titanium version, this one's titanium, is just, you know, sublime. I mean, Focusworks machining is brilliant. At the front here, we have a total internal reflection lens, and behind that is a Nietzsche 219C 5000K with 90 plus CRI. You can remove the bezel. See how I'm just unscrewing the bezel? You can remove the bezel, and I haven't tried this, but I would suspect you could remove the bezel and insert a small reflector similar to that of the like Raylight Pineapple Mini or something like that, if a total internal wasn't your jam. I like total internals. I think that they're very useful. I think, you know, there's less to worry about when it comes to modding and things like that, because you're not going to get any shorts with a total internal because it's a plastic lens instead of, you know, a metallic or aluminium reflector. But also the beam's great for total internals. Now, that being said, I do have a reflector in my F2, but I often swap it back to the total internal reflection lens that the F2s come with. So you might be able to notice here that there is a line here and a line here and a line here. Okay, so you can remove the tail. I'm not going to do that now, but you can remove it. But what's really cool about this light is that this can come off into three main pieces. Okay, so I'll just show you. Okay, so these are the three main pieces that can come off in. Now, why can it do that? Well, I'll just put it back together to show you the initial intended use of this light, and then I will take it back apart and show you what it can do. And I'm sure a lot of you are already suspecting what this thing can do. But before I do that, this is the provided battery you'll get. So you'll get an Ace Beam 700 milliamp hour, 3.7 volt, 10900 battery. Okay, so it's a button top. The button goes towards the head, and now this thing's ready to go. Now, different to the F2 or the F3, this has a titanium reverse clicky switch. So it's called an OM10 reverse clicky, and when you click it, when you half press it, there's no output. So it's not like a forward clicky where you can momentary. You can't do that with a reverse clicky, but a reverse clicky has something very special that a forward clicky doesn't, and I'll show you. Okay, so when you click it in and then let it go, that initiates the light. And look at that moonlight mode. So I may as well go through the outputs right now. So let's just do that. So that is moonlight mode at 1 lumen. And then this is the special thing about a reverse clicky that I love about reverse clickies. Just a slight half press on it and it cycles. So you don't have to click it off and then on to cycle. It's just the tiniest little half press. It honestly makes cycling in action whilst using the light, an absolute dream. So this is a low mode. This is 31 lumens. Then if I half press again, that is medium mode, which is 167 lumens. And then if I half press again, that's high mode. That's 624 lumens. Now, some people might think, 600 lumens, what's that going to do? Let me tell you, when you see how this thing goes outside, this is the most powerful pen light custom I have experienced. This thing goes over the fence and into the neighbor's house, and then into the neighbor's house past that as well. It's just incredible. And then half press again, back down to to moonlight, sorry. It has memory mode, so every output is memorized. Just show you that. So every output is memorized, which is brilliant. And the switch is an absolute dream to operate. Now, let's just cover the switch for a second. So one thing I've noticed is if you are somebody that has quite large hands and large fingers, you are going to need to kind of angle your finger or thumb down to get that good click, okay, to actually get the click. Once it's on, however, you can just use the pad of your finger just to change outputs, to cycle, with absolutely no risk of turning it off. So that is brilliant. And then angle your finger down again to turn it off. My fingers and hands are in kind of like the mid-range, so I don't have to angle it down too much. I can almost get it just with the pad. But I think that the brilliance of this, I'll just zoom in again, the brilliance of this tail design is twofold. Number one, you've got tail standing, okay? So an EDC torch, I think having tail standing is a must. It's just very useful. So you can tail stand this light, no problem. The other thing is, it does have these protective kind of lifts here, or walls or whatever you want to call them, raised edges, to protect the switch. So this, I have absolutely no concern about this being turned on by accident in your pocket if you don't use the clip, which I think you'd be mad not to use the clip because, excuse me, because Focusworks clips coupled with Focusworks bodies make for the most satisfying pocketing experience I've ever had in terms of a custom flashlight. I'm not kidding. The clip is so strong, the tension is there, but because of that slight lift on the clip coupled with the smooth body, all it takes is a single push with one hand. You don't have to hold your pocket and then push it in. You just, you can be using this hand for whatever, and you just go slide into your pocket, bang, pull it out. It's fantastic. I just love pocketing this thing. I absolutely adore pocketing this thing. It's just fantastic. So, where was I? Okay, so the tail. So the thing about the tail is that it's not going to accidentally be turned on if you don't use the pocket clip and you just throw it in your pocket. It's not going to be accidentally turned on. But it is the perfect kind of opening, as I said, that once you do turn it on and it is initiated on, you only need the pad of your thumb or fingers or whatever to cycle, and it makes it brilliant. And then turning it off is not difficult. Like I said, you just angle your finger a little bit more than what it was when you were cycling, and you can turn it off. So it's fantastic. And I genuinely believe that, I know that was intended. So that's not an accident that the tail is like that. That's a very, very well thought out design that just makes the ergonomics of this light perfect. It really does make it perfect. So speaking of ergos, the way I like to hold this light is when I pull it out of my pocket, I get these two fingers here over the clip because it's really comfortable to get it over the clip. Then what that does is that angles my thumb, that my thumb gets to come in through that opening here instead of coming in through the top bit, which makes it a little bit more difficult to initiate. So when I've got my fingers here on the clip, not only do I have a much better grip of this light because the clip, your fingers just kind of sink over that clip and the light's going nowhere, but now my thumb's coming in through that opening, bang, click it on, and then cycle. Look at that. And then bang, click it off. So again, you're not going to accidentally initiate this light on. You're just not going to. It needs an intended press to turn it on and an intended press to turn it off, which is phenomenal. And then once it is on, as I said, very easy to cycle. It's one of my favorite things about this light. Okay, so this light is also water resistant with these O-rings. So it's got O-rings here, it's got O-rings inside, and it probably has an O-ring around the tail and the clicky as well. So therefore it is water resistant. If you dropped it in a puddle or something like that, you can pick it up and you can still use it. It's not going to destroy the light. Now for the most genius thing about this light. So before I do, let's just do a bit of a size comparison with the F2. So the F2 is there, the F2 Flex is there. Let's get some measurements here. So the F2 Flex comes in at 14.5 centimeters tall. The F2 comes in at about 10.5 centimeters tall. Okay, so you know what? You might be thinking, man, I mean, I'd love this Flex, but it's just too tall. It's gonna hit the bottom of my pocket, maybe, which it doesn't unless you've got short pockets, by the way. I'm just kind of doing a bit of a role play here. But you might be thinking, look, I'm just not into these long pen style lights. Well, I hope you haven't turned the video off just yet, because I've been building up to something pretty special about this light. For those of you who don't already know, this light can be transformed into the most perfect top pocket, smart dress, wedding dress, bloody whatever dress light. And I'm going to show you what to do now. So undo these sections, okay? So undo the bottom section, remove the battery, get rid of this battery. Who needs this battery if it's too long? You know what I mean? I mean, if you're not into long batteries, you're not going to be, if you're not into long torches, you're not going to be into the long battery. Just fling it, toss it away, give it to a mate, do what you want, and then remove this center bit. Oh, by the way, O-ring there as well. So O-ring there as well. O-rings everywhere. Very, very well water resisted. Okay, put those aside. Forget about them. You're done with them. You don't want them. Then you get yourself, I wouldn't really recommend Ultra Fire. I'd probably get a better brand of 10440. However, this is the one I've got, 3.7 volt, 1000 milliamp hour. I question if that 1000 milliamp hours is correct or not. Anyway, let's roll with it. Then what we do is pop the 10440 battery button top towards the head. You've removed the middle section. Guys, gals, all of you, check this out. We are now running with a 10440 sized small pen light. Are you kidding me? This is what I'm talking about. So now it is shorter than the F2, only by a hair, but it's still shorter. So what do we got? We got about 10.2 centimeters with the F2 Flex in the 10440 setup. And as I said, we got about 10.5 centimeters in the F2. Guys, look at this. These two make a brilliant pair. Can I just say? Okay, let me just paint a picture for you guys, because now I'm excited. So you've got your F2 in your jeans pocket, clipping in just bloody beautifully, loving it. This is your primary light, okay? This is the light that's got the most run time, because as I said, I do question that 1000 milliamp hours in the Ultrafire. It's got the run time, you know, it's got the thickness, it's got the weight, it's your primary light. So you got this in your jeans pocket. Now you've got a secondary light in your top pocket. Imagine a top pocket, you know, a suit pocket or whatever. This thing, snip, is going to slide just in like that. It's relatively deep carry. It's going to come into about there. So you're only really going to see the screws top out. In my opinion, that's going to bloody look good. It's going to make any wedding attire just look fantastic. Why would you attend a wedding without a torch? I don't know. But you'll have this in your top pocket. Now, all of a sudden, this is your secondary light. Now, maybe you're saying, look, mate, relax a bit. I don't want two lights on me. And look, I always carry two lights. I'm a nut like that. But maybe you're thinking, look, mate, I don't want two lights. I don't need that as a primary light. I'm going to have keys, wallet, phone, you know, tissues if you're a crier at a wedding or whatever. I only want one light. Well, guess what? This can be used as your primary light as well. Absolutely. Look at how bright that is. And just for your information, when we cut to the night shots, you are going to see exactly what this thing can do in terms of brightness. And so for all of you guys out there who are thinking, I don't need two lights, can I still use this as a primary light? The answer is yes. The answer is a resounding yes. So that is one of the most phenomenal things about this light. I am so impressed with the idea that Geordie had and turned into a reality, where you can swap the same light from a 10900 size to a 10440 size. That is just genius. And not to mention in a beautiful titanium host. Now, speaking of the host, you can get these in aluminium, and you can also get them in copper so far. I don't think he's done any others, but aluminium and copper you can get so far, which is fantastic. All right, I think I've covered everything. This thing's bloody amazing. Let's head outside and, oh, by the way, grade 5 titanium clip. Forgot to mention that, grade 5 titanium clip on all Geordie's stuff. Okay, let's head outside to the night shots, and then we'll come back for some final thoughts and prices. See you in a sec. All right, the Flex in the backyard. So, lowest output, very, very useful. Conserving battery and very good for close distances. Even up the trees. I mean, not, far away, but I mean, tying your shoe or your friggin' slipper that you don't tie. It's perfect. Now, reverse clicky. So, I love a reverse clicky for changing outputs, because a single little half press whilst on changes output. Now that's the second lowest output, and check that out. That's already covering the entire backyard. It's not a huge backyard, I'm not on acreage yet, but very, very useful with what I've got at the moment. Now this is where we start getting into the realm of decent distance. Look at that. This has got some awesome throw already, and I'm not even at turbo yet. So I do apologize for being in the backyard and not really stretching this thing out in over at the tower, but I am nursing a bit of a back injury, and I'm just struggling at the moment a bit, so I've got to work with what I can. But it still shows what this thing's capable of, man. Like that tree back there, from where I'm standing, the top of that tree there is about 20-25 meters at least, probably more, and this thing's getting it with ease. And now, bang, that's turbo. So check out the brightness. Like there's nothing you can't see in the backyard, over the fence, that house all the way back there that this is getting, no dramas as well. That's 50 plus meters. The tree lit up all the way. I'm actually I'm a bit shocked at the performance of this, to be honest. I knew it was going to be good. Geordie's stuff is amazing, but this has some epic light, output, throw, all of the above. Look at that, man. Anything in that tree, you'll be able to see it. And look, I'll just turn it off. This is what we're working with when it's off. Boom, memory, turbo, beautiful. And then look at that over the fence. There's like houses all the way back there that I'm getting no dramas. That's awesome. This thing is really, really, really powerful, man. Like a pocket rocket, literally. Look at it. Probably the most powerful pen light I've ever used. Definitely is the most powerful pen light I've ever used. Back to low. Ultra low, low, medium, high. All right, there it is. And see ya. All right, how's that output, man? This thing just pumps with friggin' light. I love it. Okay, let's get prices out of the way first. So, $340 US for the titanium, $218 I think it was for the aluminiums. I think there's two different aluminium types available, and $280 for a copper. Now, in the description, I will leave a discount code, Flashlight Crazy, name of the channel. Just use that discount code and you'll get 10% off any F2 Flex, any F2, and any F3. So if you're interested, click the link below. It'll take you straight to the Focusworks page, and I'll put maybe a couple of links like the Focusworks page, just the home page. Then I'll put the Flex, then I'll put the F2, maybe then I'll put the F3 as well, so you can just go check it all out. But it's a very easy website to navigate. It's really well done. All right, now, pros and cons. Okay, so cons about this light, I have none. I've looked for them. I've tried to be harsh, or not harsh, but I've tried to be, I've tried to find a con, because I don't like reviewing a light without finding a con, because I don't want people to think like, oh, he's just, propping it up for the maker or whatever. No, I don't do that. I am very honest in my reviews, and if I don't like something about a light, I will friggin' say it, because firstly, it's doing no service to the maker or the company if you pretend it's great when it's not great. It's like if I'm walking around with a piece of crap on my face all day, no one tells me, I'm just walking around with a piece of crap on my face all day. So you don't want that. You want someone to be like, hey, Mick, and then you're like, oh shit, thanks, mate. So anyway, if there's something wrong with this light, or if there's a con that I have about this light, I'm gonna bring it up. At the moment, I don't have any cons. The one thing that the one bone to pick, I guess, with the Focusworks lights that I have is that I loved those old school screws, the old school big screws. So I think the first ever Focusworks light I reviewed was a titanium F2 lent to me by a good friend of mine, and his had the older screws, the bigger, chunkier screws. And now this one and my F2, which is a newer version, they've got the smaller, like flatter screws. Now, people might love those, but I liked the really chunky screws. So it's not like a con about the light or anything like that. That's just a personal preference, to be honest. But that is my personal preference. I much prefer those bigger screws. Anyway, apart from that, like I said, I've looked for cons and I haven't found any. The light is versatile. The light is very, very useful, and it fits, different demographics, So it's going to fit someone as a work light if you want a long work light that you can kind of stick in your pocket and pull out and have a great grip on it. It really does. Also, there are a lot of different 10900 style batteries that you can get with heaps of different ranges of milliamp hours. So you can get some with high milliamp hours that are going to give you great runtime. Obviously, if you pump this thing on the 600 plus lumen output, the high output, you're not going to get as much runtime as you do if you use it on the medium or low, or obviously the moonlight as well. But if this is going to be an intended work light, then definitely shop around for 10900 batteries that have really good runtime as well. But it's a rechargeable battery anyway, so the best thing about this light, my favorite thing about this light, is you can use it with the 10900 and just bring a 10440 battery with you. When the 10900 runs out, take it out, stick it on charge if you're at work, let's say, and then just shorten the light, take the middle piece out, shorten the light, use the 10440, and you've still got bloody light. It's just so incredible. But the next thing, it's a really cool scenario that I'm going to paint here, because I love like painting scenarios like this, and I think about how I'd use a light. So let's say you're going to use this for a wedding or a smart dinner or something like that, where it's like you got to dress in a bloody suit or whatever. What I would do is I would use this in this configuration in the beginning, and I would take a 10440 battery with me, right? And what I'd do is I'd use this in this configuration, during the day, and then later on into the afternoon or whatever. And then when it hits reception and like speeches time and all that type of crap, I would then remove the middle bit and put and make it the 10440 side, and just size, and just stick it in the old top pocket and have it like that. So I just love the diversity of it. I really do. And of course you can reverse that. You can start out with the 10440 size and then add the centerpiece in, get the larger battery, and end with this if that's your jam. So I just think that it's a brilliant idea, and I think it works. I really do think it works. The switch as well, I don't want to gloss over, and I think I didn't gloss over, I think I almost rambled, but the switch as well, and the tail formation, the machining on the tail is really, hey, look at that Focusworks written there. It's a smart thing to have done. You've got tail standing, but you've also got these two openings here that allow for very easy mode switching. It's too easy. So, and then, like I said, you just need to angle your finger or thumb in just a bit to turn it off. The switch works perfectly. There's no rattle. It's so satisfying. It's a very, very, very good reverse clicky switch. Probably one of the best that I've experienced. Maybe the best? Just trying to think. I'd probably say the best, yeah. It's because it's just so firm, you know. It's really firm and there's no rattle. It's just, it works bloody well. It's a satisfying click to use. Oh, yeah. I think that's about it. As I said, I don't want to make it out like, oh, this light's the best and definitely go get it and, you know, use my code and all that type of stuff. Like, obviously, if you're in the market for a slender light that can be changed from a 10900 to a 10440, yeah, get this light. I wouldn't recommend any others. I would recommend this one because it's the best of both worlds. But if you're not in the market for that, or if these lights aren't your jam, then don't bother. Why are you watching this video? Switch it off, get rid of it, throw your telly away. Don't throw your telly away, I'm just kidding. But I'm really into this light. I think it's a great light. And I think, Geordie, mate, more power to you. You're killing it in the EDC world. And I'm just so privileged to be able to review some of your gear and be in this community as well, because it's a bloody shit hot community. All right, guys, I've rambled enough. Thanks very much for watching the episode. I hope you enjoyed it. And until next time, stay cool and stay safe. See ya.